Elias sat on the edge of his bed, staring out the window at the sunset. The warm colors painted the sky, but they did little to brighten his mood. Just a few months ago, he had shared this view with his best friend, Mia. They would sit together, laughing and dreaming about their futures. But now, Mia had moved to a faraway city, and the distance between them felt like an unbridgeable chasm. Every day, Elias thought about her. He missed their late-night talks, where they would share their thoughts about life, love, and everything in between. He missed the way Mia would encourage him, reminding him of his potential. Without her, he felt lost. The world seemed dull and gray, and he struggled to find joy in the things he once loved. Elias picked up his phone, scrolling through old messages from Mia. Her words were filled with warmth and support. "You can do anything, Elias," she had written. "Don't forget that." But now, those words felt like a distant echo, a reminder of what he had lost. He longed to hear her voice again, to share his life with her, but he didn't know how to bridge the gap that distance had created. One evening, as he sat in his favorite spot by the window, Elias decided he couldn't let this distance define their friendship. He needed to reach out. But what could he say? "Hey, I miss you," felt too simple, too weak. He wanted to express how much she meant to him, but the right words eluded him. Feeling frustrated, Elias put the phone down and walked outside. The cool air wrapped around him, and he took a deep breath, hoping it would clear his mind. He wandered to the small park nearby, where he and Mia had spent countless afternoons. As he walked, memories flooded back her laughter, the silly games they played, the dreams they shared. His heart ached with the realization of her absence. Sitting on a swing, he pushed himself gently back and forth, lost in thought. "Why can't I just tell her how I feel?" he murmured to himself. "Why is this so hard?" He wanted to reconnect, to remind her that their friendship was still strong, even if they were miles apart. But the fear of sounding desperate held him back. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Elias felt a flicker of hope. He remembered how Mia always encouraged him to be brave. She believed in him when he struggled to believe in himself. "Maybe I can do this," he thought. "Maybe I can find a way to show her I care." The next day, inspired by that thought, Elias decided to write Mia a letter. He pulled out a notebook and a pen, sitting at his desk with determination. He poured his heart onto the pages, writing about his feelings of loneliness and how much he missed her. He shared his dreams and fears, the things he hadn't been able to express over the phone. He wanted her to know that even though she was far away, she still held a special place in his heart. After finishing the letter, he felt a sense of relief wash over him. It was a small step, but it felt significant. He folded the letter carefully and addressed it to her new home. Then, with a deep breath, he walked to the post office, his heart racing with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Days passed, and Elias found himself checking the mailbox every day, hoping for a reply. He felt a bit silly, but he couldn't help. Each time he opened the box, his heart would leap, only to sink again when he found it empty. But he held on to hope, believing that Mia would understand how much he cared. Finally, a week later, the mailbox held a letter addressed to him. Elias's heart raced as he tore it open. Inside, he found Mia's familiar handwriting, and he felt a surge of joy. As he read her words, he could hear her voice in his head. She wrote about her new life, the challenges she faced, and how much she missed their friendship. She encouraged him to keep pursuing his dreams and assured him that distance would never weaken their bond. Tears filled his eyes as he read her final words. "No matter where life takes us, you will always be my best friend. Let's keep sharing our dreams, no matter the distance." In that moment, Elias felt a weight lift off his shoulders. He realized that their friendship was stronger than distance. They could still connect, share their lives, and support each other, even from afar. Inspired by her response, Elias picked up his phone and called her. When she answered, her voice brought a smile to his face. They talked for hours, catching up on everything they had missed. Laughter echoed through the phone, and for the first time in months, Elias felt truly happy. The distance didn't seem so daunting anymore. As they talked, Elias shared his dreams of becoming a writer. He told her about the stories he wanted to tell, how he hoped to inspire others. Mia listened intently, cheering him on as she always had. "You can do it, Elias. I believe in you," she exclaimed, and her encouragement filled him with renewed energy. In the weeks that followed, they made it a tradition to video chat every Sunday. They shared their lives, celebrated each other's successes, and supported one another through challenges. Elias felt a sense of purpose returning to his life, fueled by the hope of their friendship. One evening, as he looked out at the sunset, he thought about how far he had come. He had faced the sadness of losing Mia, but he had also discovered the strength of their bond. The distance that had once felt like a barrier had transformed into a bridge connecting their hearts. He realized that friendships could thrive, even across miles. Elias smiled, feeling grateful for the journey he had taken to reconnect with Mia. He understood now that sometimes it took courage to express one's feelings, but the rewards were worth it. As he gazed at the beautiful sky, he felt a sense of peace. He knew that no matter what life brought, he and Mia would always find a way to support each other. And in that moment, Elias felt a quiet determination rising within him. He understood that his wish had been granted, not through magic or divine intervention, but through the power of friendship, courage, and love. Just like the goddess Lyriel, who had once silenced him with her grace, Mia had shown him that even in distance, their connection was unbreakable. He had found his way back to her, and that made all the difference. Elias sat quietly in his room, still feeling the warmth from his recent video call with Mia. Their laughter echoed in his mind, a sweet reminder of the bond they shared. Yet, even with her words of encouragement ringing in his ears, a sense of melancholy lingered. He missed her more than ever, and the distance between them felt like an invisible weight pressing down on his heart. As the days turned into weeks, Elias tried to focus on his writing. He had always dreamed of being an author, telling stories that would inspire others. But without Mia's support, he struggled to find the motivation. Each time he sat down at his desk, the blank page seemed to mock him. Thoughts of her moved to the forefront of his mind, pulling him away from his work. He wanted to share his ideas with her, to get her feedback, but the thought of reaching out again felt daunting. One afternoon, while sitting in the park where he and Mia used to hang out, Elias noticed a group of children playing nearby. They were laughing and running freely, their joy contagious. He remembered how Mia had always encouraged him to embrace life and pursue his passions. Inspired by their carefree spirit, he decided he needed to push through his sadness. He would channel his feelings into his writing and create something meaningful. Elias pulled out his notebook, flipping through pages filled with half-formed ideas and scribbled notes. He wanted to write a story about friendship, about overcoming challenges and the strength that comes from connection. As he began to write, words flowed from his heart. He wrote about two friends separated by distance, but united by their love and support for one another. It felt good to put his feelings into words, to transform his sadness into creativity. But as he wrote, a new worry crept into his mind. What if Mia didn't have time to read his story? What if she was too busy with her new life to care? He felt a wave of doubt wash over him. Would she still see him as the same person she once knew? The thought made his heart ache. He wanted her to be proud of him, to see how far he had come since she moved away. Determined to push through these fears, Elias decided to send her the story once he finished it. He envisioned her reading it, smiling at the memories they had shared and feeling the bond they still had. He spent hours crafting the tale, pouring his emotions into every line. With each word, he felt a sense of hope rising within him. He was taking action, doing something to reconnect with her. After several days of hard work, Elias finally completed the story. He reread it, making sure it captured everything he wanted to say. It was not just a story. It was a piece of his heart. With a deep breath, he attached the document to an email and hit send. "I hope you like it," he whispered to the screen, a mix of excitement and anxiety bubbling within him. The next day, Elias felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness. He checked his email repeatedly, waiting for a response. He imagined Mia reading his story, laughing at the funny parts, and getting emotional at the heartfelt moments. But as the hours passed, he felt his excitement begin to wane. What if she didn't reply? What if she was too busy with her new life to care about his story? Just when he began to lose hope, a notification popped up on his phone. It was an email from Mia. His heart raced as he opened it. The subject line read, "I loved your story." Elias felt a rush of joy as he read her words. "Elias, I just finished your story, and I loved it. You have such a talent for writing. I could feel the emotions, and it reminded me of our time together. I miss you so much." Elias stood at the window of his small apartment, looking out at the bustling city below. The lights twinkled like stars, but his heart felt heavy. It had been months since he last saw Mia, and despite their regular video calls and messages, the distance between them still weighed on him. He missed her laughter, her advice, and the simple joy of being together. After their recent reunion, Elias had felt a surge of hope and energy. Their time together had reignited his passion for writing, and he had started sharing his stories online. The feedback was overwhelmingly positive, and he even gained a small following. But even with this success, he couldn't shake the feeling of loneliness that crept in when he thought of Mia being so far away. One evening, as he sat at his desk, Elias received a message from Mia. She had sent him a link to a writing contest with a theme of hope and friendship. His heart raced at the thought of entering. This was the perfect opportunity to express everything he felt about their friendship and the challenges they had overcome together. He quickly opened the document on his computer and began brainstorming ideas. He wanted to write a story that showcased the strength of their bond, even across distances. As he wrote, he poured his heart into the words, recalling the moments they had shared and the support they offered each other. But as he typed, doubt began to creep in. What if it's not good enough? He thought. What if Mia doesn't think this represents our friendship well? He paused, staring at the screen, feeling overwhelmed. The fear of failure loomed large, and he wondered if he should even enter the contest. In that moment, he remembered something Mia had told him during their last call. "You have to believe in yourself, Elias. You are capable of amazing things." Those words echoed in his mind, pushing him to keep going. He couldn't let fear hold him back, not now when he had come so far. Determined, Elias focused on the story again. He wrote about two friends who faced challenges but always found a way to support each other. He depicted the feelings of distance, longing, and the hope that kept their friendship alive. The words flowed from him, and he felt a sense of freedom as he expressed his emotions. After completing the story, he read it through several times, making sure it captured the essence of what he wanted to say. With a deep breath, he submitted his entry to the contest. It felt like a weight lifted off his shoulders. No matter the outcome, he had chosen to put himself out there, to share his heart. Days turned into weeks as Elias waited for the contest. Results. He continued to write and share his stories online, feeling more confident with each piece. Mia cheered him on from afar, sending encouraging messages and sharing his work with her friends. Her support made him feel like he had someone in his corner, even when they were apart. Then, one rainy afternoon, Elias received an email that made his heart race. It was from the contest organizers. He opened it with shaking hands, his heart pounding in his chest. As he read through the message, a smile broke across his face. He had won second place. His story about hope and friendship had resonated with the judges, and they praised his writing style and emotional depth. Excitement bubbled inside him, and he immediately called Mia. When she answered, he could hear the smile in her voice. "Elias, you did it! I knew you could," she exclaimed. They celebrated together, laughing and sharing their joy. In that moment, Elias realized that he wanted to do more than just share stories. He wanted to inspire others to believe in themselves. Just as Mia had inspired him. As they talked, Elias felt a growing determination to strengthen their connection. He wanted to create something meaningful that could bring people together, just like their friendship had. "What if we start a blog together?" he suggested. "We can share our stories, our experiences, and maybe even help others who feel alone." Mia's voice lit up with excitement. "That's a fantastic idea, Elias. We can write about anything, our dreams, our challenges, and how we've overcome them. It will be a place for others to find hope, just like we have." They spent the next few hours brainstorming ideas for their blog. They came up with a name, Connected by Words, and decided to launch it within a month. Elias felt a renewed sense of purpose as they discussed their plans. This project would not only strengthen their bond, but also allow them to reach out to others who might be feeling distant or alone. Over the next few weeks, they worked tirelessly to create content for their blog. They shared personal stories, wrote articles about friendship and resilience, and even created a section for readers to submit their own experiences. Elias felt fulfilled as he wrote, knowing that their words could inspire others. The launch day arrived, and they celebrated together through a video call. As they published their first blog post, Elias felt a wave of excitement. They had created something special, a platform that encouraged connection and understanding. As the days passed, their blog began to gain traction. Readers commented, shared their stories, and expressed gratitude for the hope and encouragement they found in Elias and Mia's words. The connection they had created extended beyond just the two of them. It reached people across the world, reminding everyone that they were not alone. One evening, as Elias read through the comments on their blog, he felt a deep sense of satisfaction. People were responding positively, sharing how much the blog meant to them. He thought back to the days when he felt distant from Mia, unsure of how to reconnect. Now, they were not only close friends, but also partners in a project that was making a difference. Feeling inspired, Elias decided to write a special post dedicated to Mia. He wanted to express how much she meant to him and how their friendship had changed his life. As he wrote, he reflected on the journey they had taken together, from feeling distant to creating something beautiful that connected others. When he finished, he sent her the draft for her approval. Maya read it and responded with tears in her eyes. "Elias, this is beautiful. I'm so grateful for you and everything we've built together. You've shown me that distance doesn't have to mean separation. It can also mean growth." As they prepared to publish the post, Elias felt a sense of pride. He realized that their friendship had become a source of strength, not just for themselves, but for others as well. They had turned their feelings of loneliness into a powerful message of hope and connection. In the weeks that followed, they continued to write and share their stories. Their blog blossomed into a community where people supported each other, shared their experiences, and found comfort in knowing they were not alone. Elias felt fulfilled, knowing that he was making a difference in the lives of others while nurturing his friendship with Mia. One evening, as he looked out at the sunset, Elias felt grateful for the journey he had taken. He had faced his fears and reached out to Mia, and together they had built something meaningful. Their friendship had transformed from a source of sadness into a powerful force of hope and inspiration, just like the divine goddess Lyriel, who had once silenced him with her grace. Mia had shown him that true connection could conquer any distance. Elias smiled, knowing that no matter where life took them, their bond would remain strong. They had become each other's heroes, and together they would continue to inspire hope in others. Elias sat at his desk, surrounded by stacks of papers and notebooks, filled with his thoughts. The glow of the computer screen illuminated his face as he read through the comments on their blog, connected by words. The support they received was heartwarming, but despite the growing community, he could not shake the feeling of distance. For Mia, it had been a few weeks since they last met in person, and he missed her terribly. Their blog had become a fantastic way to connect with others, but Elias longed for the deeper connection he felt when they were together. He remembered the way her eyes sparkled when she talked about her dreams, how her laughter could light up any room. The calls and messages were wonderful, but they couldn't replace the warmth of her presence. One evening, after a long day of writing, Elias decided to reach out to Mia. He wanted to plan another visit, but the thought made him anxious. What if she was too busy with her new life? What if she didn't want to see him again? He pushed those thoughts aside and took a deep breath. He picked up his phone and sent her a message. "Hey, Mia. I was thinking it would be great to catch up in person again. How about I come to visit next weekend?" He hit send, his heart racing. After a few moments, a reply came through. "Elias, that sounds amazing. I'd love to see you. Let's make it happen." Relief washed over him, and a smile spread across his face. They quickly made plans for his visit, and he felt a renewed sense of excitement. This time, it would be different. He wanted to make the most of their time together, to strengthen their bond and share their dreams in person. As the weekend approached, Elias couldn't contain his excitement. He prepared for the visit like it was a special occasion. He packed his bags carefully, bringing along some of his favorite stories he had written, hoping to share them with Mia. He wanted her to see how much he had grown since they last met. When the day finally arrived, Elias woke up early, his heart racing with anticipation. He took a deep breath, reminding himself that this visit was about reconnecting and celebrating their friendship. He took a long walk before heading to the bus station, letting the cool breeze calm his nerves. The bus ride felt like it. Elias sat on his bed, surrounded by notebooks and crumpled papers, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. He had just returned home from visiting Mia, and the memories of their time together were still fresh in his mind. Their weekend had been filled with laughter, creativity, and a sense of connection that he had missed so deeply. But now that he was home, the distance between them felt heavy again. After their inspiring weekend, Elias found himself reflecting on everything they had accomplished. They had written a beautiful story together, one that captured their friendship and the challenges they had faced. It was a story of hope and resilience, and he couldn't wait to share it with the world. But even as he felt this excitement, a wave of sadness washed over him. He missed Mia dearly. Elias opened his laptop and stared at the blank screen. He wanted to start working on their story, but the words wouldn't come. Instead, his mind drifted to the moments they had shared. He remembered how they had laughed over coffee, how they had bounced ideas off each other in the park, and how their friendship had felt so strong in those moments. Now, sitting alone in his room, he felt the weight of loneliness pressing down on him. He picked up his phone, scrolling through his messages with Mia. Their chats were filled with encouragement and excitement about their writing project. But he couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. He wanted to reconnect with her in a deeper way, to remind her how much she meant to him beyond their creative endeavors. After a few moments of hesitation, Elias decided to send her a message. "Hey, Mia. I've been thinking about our story, and how much I appreciate you. I miss you so much. Can we have a video call soon?" He hit send and waited, his heart pounding. He hoped she would respond quickly, eager to hear her voice again. Minutes felt like hours as he anxiously checked his phone. Finally, a notification popped up. "Elias, I miss you too. Let's definitely have a call. How about tomorrow evening?" Relief washed over him, and a smile spread across his face. They set a time for the call, and he felt a sense of anticipation. He wanted to share not only their story, but also his feelings about their friendship, and how important she was to him. The next evening, Elias prepared for the call. He tidied his room and made sure the lighting was good. As the time approached, he felt a mix of excitement and nerves. He wanted this conversation to be meaningful, a chance to reconnect on a deeper level. When the video call started, Mia's face filled the screen, and his heart soared. "Elias, it's so good to see you," she said, her smile brightening the room. "It's great to see you too," he replied, feeling warmth spread through him. They chatted for a while about everyday things, what they had been up to, their favorite shows, and the latest trends in writing. But as the conversation flowed, Elias felt the urge to dive deeper. "Mia," he began, taking a deep breath, "I've been thinking a lot about our friendship. I really miss you. It's not just about writing together. It's about you being in my life. You inspire me in so many ways." Mia's expression softened. "I miss you too, Elias. It's hard being apart, but I'm so grateful for our friendship. You've helped me through so much, and I want you to know how much you mean to me." Her words filled him with hope. "I was thinking we should do something special together, even though we're far apart. What if we set a goal for ourselves? We could challenge each other to write a certain number of stories this month." Mia's eyes lit up. "That's a great idea. We can keep each other accountable and share our progress. It'll be like a writing club, just for us." Elias felt a surge of excitement. "Exactly. We could even create a schedule for our calls to discuss our stories and give each other feedback." They spent the next hour brainstorming ideas for their writing challenge. They decided to focus on themes of friendship, resilience, and hope, drawing from their own experiences. The more they talked, the more energized Elias felt. He realized that even though they were separated by distance, they could still create something beautiful together. As the call came to an end, Elias felt lighter than he had in weeks. "Thank you for always being so amazing, Mia. I feel so lucky to have you in my life," he said, his voice sincere. Mia smiled warmly. "And I feel the same way, Elias. I believe in you, and I know you're going to achieve great things. Let's keep supporting each other." The next day, Elias dove into their writing challenge with renewed energy. He set aside time each day to write, focusing on the themes they had discussed. The words flowed easily, and he felt inspired knowing that Maya was working on her own stories. As the days passed, they continued to share their progress during their scheduled calls. They read each other's stories, offered feedback, and celebrated each small victory. Elias felt a deep sense of connection with Mia, and the distance that had once felt so heavy began to fade. One evening, during one of their calls, Mia shared a personal story about a difficult time she had faced recently. "I felt so lost when I moved here. I missed everything: my family, my friends, and even the little things like our coffee shop talks," she admitted, her voice tinged with vulnerability. Elias listened intently, his heart aching for her. "I can't imagine how hard that must have been." But I want you to know that you're not alone. I'm always here for you, even if it's just through a screen." Mia smiled, her eyes glistening with gratitude. "Thank you, Elias. It means a lot to know that you care. I've learned so much from you about resilience and hope, and I'm so thankful for our friendship." Their conversation shifted back to writing, and they discussed the stories they were creating. Elias felt inspired by Mia's strength and creativity. He realized that their friendship had grown stronger through their challenges, and he was grateful for the journey they were on together. As the month progressed, they completed several stories, each one reflecting their experiences and the bond they shared. They decided to compile their best works into an anthology, dedicating it to their friendship. On the day they finished the final draft, Elias felt a sense of accomplishment. They had created something beautiful together, something that celebrated their connection, despite the miles between them. Elias sat down to write a message to Mia, wanting to express how much she had impacted his life. "Mia, I can't believe we've come this far. I'm so proud of what we've created together, and I'm even more proud of our friendship. You've shown me that distance can't diminish the strength of our bond." He hit send, and within moments, her reply came through. "Elias, you don't know how much your words mean to me. I feel the same way. This journey has brought us closer together, and I can't wait to share our anthology with the world." As they prepared to publish their collection, Elias felt a wave of hope. He realized that their friendship had not only survived the distance, but had thrived because of it. They had faced their fears and chosen to support each other, proving that true connection could overcome any obstacle. The day of the publication arrived, and they held a virtual launch party. Friends and family joined, celebrating their achievement. As they shared their stories, Elias felt a sense of fulfillment and joy. Their bond had created something meaningful that touched the hearts of others. As the party came to an end, Elias looked at Mia's smiling face on the screen. "Thank you for everything, Mia. You've made this journey unforgettable." Mia beamed. "And thank you for being you, Elias. Our friendship is a treasure, and I'm excited for what the future holds for both of us." In that moment, Elias understood that their connection was unbreakable. Like the divine goddess Lirel, who had once silenced him with her grace, Mia had shown him the power of friendship and hope. No matter where life took them, they would always find a way to reconnect and inspire each other. Elias sat at his desk, staring at the screen of his laptop. The glow of the monitor illuminated his face, but his heart felt heavy. It had been a few weeks since he and Mia published their anthology, and while it had received a warm response, he couldn't shake the feeling of distance that lingered between them. They had poured their hearts into their stories, but now he felt a growing emptiness without her presence. After their virtual launch party, life had become hectic for both of them. Mia was busy with her new job, and Elias was wrapped up in promoting their book. The excitement of their success had faded, leaving him with a sense of longing. He missed the late-night talks, the laughter, and the moments of inspiration they shared. Now, their conversations felt rushed, and he wanted to reconnect more deeply. One evening, as he sat alone in his room, Elias decided he needed to reach out to Mia. He picked up his phone and opened their chat. He hesitated for a moment, unsure of what to say. After a few breaths, he typed, "Hey, Mia, I've been thinking about you. Can we have a longer call this weekend? I'd love to catch up." He hit send and waited, his heart racing. A few moments later, a reply popped up on his screen. "Of course, Elias. I'd love that. How about Saturday at 3 p.m.? A wave of relief washed over him. "Perfect. I can't wait." As the days passed, Elias felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He wanted to share his feelings with Mia, to let her know how much he missed her and how important their friendship was to him. He spent the week preparing for their call, thinking about what he wanted to say. On Saturday, as the clock approached 3 p.m., Elias felt his stomach fluttering. With anticipation, he tidied up his room and made sure the